A super good morning to each and every single one of you, and a happy Wednesday. Now, today I have to begin with a confession, and that is that my intention was to be able to be getting up at 6 o'clock this morning and smashing out a whole lot of content before hitting the gym at 11. The time is now 25 past 10. I did not get up at 6 o'clock this morning. I did not smash out a whole lot of vlogging content as yet. But, and that was, my alarm went off at 6. I got up, I had a blinding headache, so consumed 17 fluid ounces of water, got myself back into bed, had an additional 2.5 hours of sleep, and feeling super sharp and so much better right at the moment. Now, what I've managed to do so far is write a training program and get things lined up for the next beauty blog post that I'm going to be smashing out. And then what I also did was I jumped into the Project 24 community and had a look at what sort of questions were there. And there were there was one in the Project 24 community that I was able to answer. And then I received a email from another fellow Project 24 member that I spoke to during the course of one of the masterminds last week, and asking me a very specific question, and I can cover both of those more or less here. The first one is that this person has been looking into something called Blogorama. Now, Blogorama is a web directory type of service that sends bot traffic to your blog, which then boosts the number of page views, and the theory goes boosts the amount of SEO value that your blog has. And they're charging the nominal rate of $9 a month to send a whole lot of bot traffic, in other words, fake views, to your blog to be able to boost its potential credibility. My response to that was that I saw this as a potential massive waste of time, because number one, you won't be able to get any real data as far as your blog's concerned. How well is my blog doing? How many of the views that I'm getting are people that are actually reading my blog, and how many of the views that I'm getting is just this bot traffic that means absolutely nothing. So that was my first takeaway from that. The second takeaway from that is that, especially if your blog is new, this is just a distraction to take you away from the most important thing, and that is producing blog content. I wouldn't be looking at link building or anything like that until I've got a blog that's got 250, 300 posts on it, and then possibly I'll be looking at HARO links, which are the helper reporter out, in other words, providing a resource to reporters, journalists that are writing an article related to your niche, and they can quote you as the expert in the field, and that brings credibility to the brand that you're building around your blog. So that's the first one. The second one is a lady, let me just get to her email here quickly, a lady by the name of Shamla, looking also with a brand new blog, only a handful of blog posts, and she's wanting to know about email marketing and leads, and how to use email marketing to send more traffic to her blog. Now, my way of looking at email marketing, and I mean, my blogs aren't even big enough for me to really, or the one is potentially, really start generating an email list and do email marketing, is that you use your helpful blog content to bring views, bring people to your blog. And those people, when they're on your blog, can sign up to your email newsletter, and that email newsletter can be used for various marketing initiatives, maybe launching your own digital product, or giving additional benefits to your email list that wouldn't be available to your normal blog readers. But that's something that on my really, really big blog That's something that I've started doing via Patreon at a far better, um, far better ROI than starting an email newsletter. So, setting up an email newsletter to drive traffic to the blog, to my mind, is the wrong way of looking at it. Rather, sit down every day, write 1200 plus words every single day, look at publishing a blog post 5 times a week, and that way you'll build up a blog. You'll build up a blog full of useful content that people want to read, and that's what's going to bring the traffic. You're not going to buy an email list from somebody, send out spam emails, and that's going to suddenly bring you a whole lot of new traffic to your blog. The thing about blogging is that it requires sustained hard work, day in, day out, week in, week out, month in, month out. I can't remember who it was that said the reason why so few people achieve success in whichever endeavor that they take on is that success comes disguised by wearing overalls and looking like hard work. So that's my take for my small rant to start off this Wednesday morning. It's now 10:30. In a half an hour's time I'll be hitting the gym, come back from that and absolutely smash out the beauty blog post, and then after that I'll explain to you exactly what's going to be happening with my Project 24 masterminds this evening, as well as what we're going to be talking about at the Ezoic webinar. Till then, cheers. Good evening, and it is coming up for 8 o'clock. It's actually 10 to 8 at the moment, so let me give you a quick update on what I've been able to get done over the course of this afternoon as a content creator, and help keep you in the loop as far as everything's concerned. The last update was just before I headed off to the gym, and I mentioned that the morning hadn't been completely the best type of content creation that I could have possibly done, but that I wasn't overly concerned about it for a couple of reasons that I'll explain in just a moment. So after the gym session, I got stuck into content creation, mainly as far as the beauty blog is concerned, and I've gotten 2 beauty blog posts finished, published, uploaded, done. Then 6 o'clock this evening there was a webinar with Ezoic, my advertising supplier as far as the blogs are concerned, and the webinar was on the topic of AI, artificial intelligence, and the web, and looking at ways that the use of artificial intelligence, especially as far as search engines are concerned, can be a disruption as far as the way things are being done at the moment. So with that in mind, the biggest search engines, obviously being the likes of Google, are bringing a AI search function into their search engine, and it's supposed to be launched later on this year. Some think that it'll only be next year, but at the same time what we're looking at is the likes of Google generate the vast majority of their money through the adverts that are being displayed on different websites. So therefore it is incumbent upon the likes of Google to be able to make sure that the top quality helpful content that is being produced is still being shown to people, because that way Google can display their adverts. So that's the one side of things, and also that Ezoic going forward will be looking at the way things are developing and seeing whatever tweaks maybe need to be made within the content creation process to be able to be better suited for the AI type of search engines that will be going forward. And I'm pretty sure that the guys at Project 24 that I work with will be all on top of that and helping to make sure that blogging content going forward is more can still work in a symbiotic type of manner with the AI search engines that might require one or two small tweaks to prior blog posts, as well as making a small adjustment to the way the blog content is structured for new content going forward. That's the way I see things happening. Then, as far as this evening is concerned, pretty soon I'm going to start the process of editing this video, but I've got two Zoom call sessions with Project 24 coming up this evening. The first is what's called a growth workshop, which is probably going to be about a dozen of us from Project 24 being split into small groups of 3 or 4 people, and we get to brainstorm challenges that each of us are experiencing on our blogs at the moment, and help to brainstorm within the group context solutions to our own individual problems. And at the same time, by doing that, even if you're hoping to brainstorm a solution to somebody else's problem, you're at the same time learning how to be able to deal with that type of problem should it arise on your own blog going forward. Another factor is blogging can be an incredibly lonely type of activity. In other words, I'm a blogger here within my region here in Spain. I doubt there'll be very many other high content volume bloggers in the English language within my geographical area. So having these type of Zoom calls where you're getting together in a virtual realm with other bloggers going through the exact same challenges that you are is, I find, an incredibly motivating thing to do. So that's the first Zoom call that's happening with Project 24 this evening. The second Zoom call that's going to be happening is what's referred to as a work hour. Now, in the work hour, what we do is, again, it's a group of us from Project 24 getting together, and it's an accountability group. In other words, we introduce ourselves, we say, for the next hour, my goal is to produce X amount of content, or do X number of outlines, or whatever the personal goal is that each of us have for that next hour. And then we each split off, we go and do our own thing, and then we have a little bit of a report back afterwards. And I find this to be immensely motivating, and it sets me up for just about a whole week of a good half a week of content going forward. Because what I do in the preparation for these content hours is I do rough outlines of blog posts that I'm wanting to do on my endurance sports blog, because that's the one that I know the most, I've got the most information of here in my head. So then what I do is, when I get to that content hour, I pull up those blog posts, I have them set up in a Google document, and I voice type with this microphone over here. I voice type a first draft on those blog posts that I've done the outlines for, and I can often get through 3 or 4 blog post first drafts within that 1 hour period. So which means that effectively what I'm doing is I'm able to get a first draft of about 2,500 to 3,000 words out within that 1 hour, just like that. And that's what I do during those sessions, and that sets me up for, as I say, easily from Wednesday now. That'll keep me in content on the Endurance Sport blog through until probably Sunday or Monday next week. So that's what I'll be doing there. But in between all of that, now this evening will be the editing process of this video, but I'll give you a brief half glimpse into the first of these Zoom calls, which will be kicking off literally within the next 2 minutes. So I have to get this microphone plugged in over here into the laptop so that I can get that up and running. So see you in just a moment. This is the beginning of the Project 24 growth workshop, but obviously you're not getting any of the audio from there. If you're wanting to be involved in these type of growth workshops as a blogger, my best suggestion to you would be to be joining me within Project 24 and gain the most out of all of these type of sessions. Till tomorrow, when we talk more about blogging and how we may create more content more efficiently. Speak to you then. Cheers.